we came in for that lightning delay, and he was like, had his eye like half hanging on because he'd been split early, and like they were trying to head tape the egg that was starting to peel over his vision. It was just Whitey. That's just what Whitey does. Like, he leaves it all out there. He steered us as far as he possibly could until his little bow legs gave out.
More or nothing.
Hello and welcome to the season finale of Maul or Nothing with Ryan and Max. And later on the show, we will be joined by none other than Wallaby legend and someone who played a huge part in what was an enthralling series between the Lions and Australia in the shape of their fabulous fullback, Tom Wright. Hello, Ryan. It's just, I feel blessed to be in your presence virtually right now.
You're welcome, boys. It's do you know what? It's been a tough couple of days, tough 2-3 days trying to get over it. We you know, when they say what's better than day 2, day 3, and then then what's better than day 3, day 4. By the time we started saying what's better than day 15, day 16, I did start to worry about my health. It's been a very deep, dark hole I've had to climb out of, Max. It was deep. It was dark. It was scary at times, but I think I'm just about out of it. It is, the demons have been there. My body has been in shutdown mode, but I'm here to tell the tale. I guess the question everyone's asking is, were the Wallabies robbed in the whole of this? What about that? Stan Sports coming straight off the bat. The Wallabies were robbed. They've been fucking robbed, mate. What?
That wasn't the only article, though. It was like that pseudo-reality article where they were like, yeah, if Australia took rugby union seriously, Lions wouldn't stand a chance. I was like, why'd you write an article about that? Like mental journalism, innit? Imagine being like, yeah, I'm going to write this article. It'll get clicks and views.
Well, mate, that is it. I'm sat in a wonderful coffee shop, Max. You'd love it down here, down by Newport Beach. Just had a little wander down the beach there, lay on the beach, did a bit of earthing, got some sunlight on me, just trying to regenerate the body.
Yeah, just get the circadian hygiene down. God bless.
I mean,
Human residents.
I think it's called Pete Coffee Shop. The wonderful gentleman here, Anthony, has kindly left it open for me. He said we shut at 3, which was half an hour ago. But he said, because you need Wi-Fi, I'll keep it open for you. So, yeah, they've been very kind to me here. But how is, just quickly, you look tired when you came on. You look tired. How's pre-season been?
It's been all right, mate. It's been all right. Like, I had my first run yesterday. I was running like Jack Sparrow. It wasn't great. Just like my leg was just basically a cushion or like wooden. It was prosthetic and all but appearance. But we're getting there. It feels okay. Strength's all good. Obviously, it kept that going, and just been hitting the sort of cardio via the rope. But lots of meetings, lots of chatting. But yeah, it's been okay, mate. As far as pre-seasons go, it's actually fairly short as well, and I've been taking lifting. Do you know what I mean? I'm not doing everything because I'm just rehabbing. So
do you know what? Do you know what I think might make it worse as well? Is like the Lions. That's it, just finished, and now you see all of them starting to go on holiday, drip feed to Bali and Dubai and like Mykonos, and they're all starting to head off on their holidays. And you boys are just about to get knee deep into the world of pre-season. It never makes it easier. And also, I'm not making it easier. I know for everyone worrying why I'm still out in Australia, I haven't had my passport taken off me. I am obviously here for Joe Mac's wedding. So I've been staying with the infamous Joe McManus and Big Gary. So again, it's been difficult to stay off the beers because you obviously arrive into their care, and the first thing that they want to do is take you for a beer, you know. So I've been strong. I think today could be the day. It's like day 3 of rehab. I think today could be the day that I nip off for a quiet one. But yeah, his wedding in 2 weeks' time. So, boys, I'm telling you now though, genuinely, I've never sent it that hard in my life, ever, and that's saying something.
No way,
Max. Throw 2 games of rugby in there as well. That is not good for your health and well-being.
So what's changed? You just sort of have to have a break before the wedding.
Yeah, well, mate, I can't. I've got another 2 weeks. So I can't just carry on going for another 2 weeks. It would be absolutely fucking carnage. At one point, I started to question whether I had become an alcoholic. The only way to get over it was to have another beer. I mean, the morning of the games, I drank a beer to make myself feel better. My second test, the big test that everyone was obviously more interested in against the classic Wallabies, chopped a pint at half time, ran over to Joe Mack. He was there with a pint. I was like, give me that. It was, but do you know what? It's been class. Genuinely, like, as much as the debauchery has gone on, and at times I thought this was the worst idea on earth. When you actually look back at it, met some bloody good blokes, some bloody odd men as well. But the shining light to come out of it, Jackson Ray. And I think he's put some good words in with the Sarries boys, because I even had a good old chat with Owen Farrell after the third test. So, boys, it's good to have an ally in the camp, isn't it?
He's your your new best friend, isn't he? You look every time I rung you, it's like, I'm with Jackson. We going for a dip to try and get over last night. But I think, Max, the thing is that, and bearing in mind, I only tasted the first 4 nights of it or whatever, and that was enough for me for the next 2 weeks. And it's the fact that they're all together. That's the real problem. I guess if Ryan was just on his Jones as he is now, he can kind of control it. But because there's this squad of sort of 20 lads ranging from sort of 30-year-olds to 40-year-olds, but they're just there, and there's always an event, and they're constantly on it. And on top of that, you throw in the mix after the third test, Ryan, and just before it, where you had all the Lions boys that were there as well. So somehow you're in a kind of 40-man touring group of just lads. And I'm trying to just give Ryan a bit of rope here and just explain why it was unstoppable. And just in case Bex is listening to this, because genuinely it was a sort of unstoppable storm, the perfect storm of kind of fun and going out.
Throw into the mix, everywhere we went was a free bar, right? Throw that into the mix. Throw into the mix hospitality at the last test. So this is why this podcast could be quite interesting when you start asking me about the game that happened in Sydney. I didn't even realise the game had been postponed at one point. Because I had a last minute text from Reece Priestley who said, "Hey, Bats, you fancy hospital?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm getting up there. Look at the rain." I left my comrades. I was like, "Boys, I'm sorry. Like, I am a loyal man, but have you seen that rain? I'm not wearing that poncho. I'm to hospitality." And there I was, knee deep in free piss again. So throw that in the mix, and the classic Wallabies, guys you haven't seen for ages, the likes of Nick Frisby, Henry Spate, Tangeli Narvodl. And then the other Aussies are just fucking lunatics as well. Drew Mitchell. Mate, Drew Mitchell is water boy for them. He's come over. He's gone, "Wills, you want some water?" Oh, mate, I'm dying yet. Pure vodka. He is fucking blind drunk, squirting pure vodka down my throat. I'm like, what the fuck was that? Give me more. Adam Ashley Cooper, just loving it. Yeah, so... thank you, Mark. I appreciate you fighting my corner there. It has been tough.
Yeah, I'm not attacking you. I'm not criticising. If I was in the land down under.
Yeah, I wish you were. But no, I'm glad it's over.
I got that photo of you and Will Stew. How was he?
Well, yeah, I had to have a little look back at the photos the next morning. He was, as you can see from the photo, he was on full send. So, yeah, we had I'll tell you a really funny quick story. The British, the Legends Tour, let's just say it wasn't that smooth in terms of running. There was, there was some fuck-ups here and there, missed buses that didn't turn up, etc., bar tabs that run out very quickly, VIP bits that weren't quite VIP. But we've turned up on the last night after the last test, and we've got to this function place, Paragon, and we're like, fucking hell, they finally nailed this. We're upstairs, free food, free booze, everything's flowing, wristbands on. We're like, this is amazing. But well done. You finally nailed it, the last function. To which point the bouncers are then coming around going, "Sorry, you out. You out." And we're like, fuck me, why are boys getting picked off so quick? Turned out if you had a green band, you were getting kicked out because they thought we were the real Lions. And we were at the Real Lions function with the Real Lions family and friends. I'm up there going, "Oh, there's Shaggy's mum and dad. Oh, look, there's fucking, and we're just in there eating their food, drinking their piss." So next minute, everyone's ripping off the green bands, going, "Get rid of the green bands, get rid of the green bands." Yeah, blend in. Exactly. Anyone that's worn their fucking terrible jacket they were given were ripping it off, fucking turning t-shirts inside out. So yeah, we had a few beers with the boys after. Finn was on good form. Sione was there. Angus Crichton, you heard of him before, Max? The NRL star. Who does he play for? I haven't got a clue. I don't really know. He's Sione's best friend. Bloke's missing a fucking finger. Broke it so many times, he just chopped the fucker off.
Oh no!
yeah.
What's it broke so many times?
Yeah.
Well,
Another good man that's keen to come on, that Mark Nwanganitawase. He's keen to get on the podcast. Lovely bloke. Yeah, everyone was up there, so it was good. It was a fucking good night. But like, absolutely no need to send it till 7 o'clock in the morning the next morning again. I'm not sure why I did it, but so yeah, the boys are in good spirits. Obviously, they're lost, but the series win was all that really mattered. And I mean, the way they'd gone in the first 2 weeks on the piss, I wasn't surprised they lost the last one.
right, you're gonna follow Joe and Gary's example and take the family move out there.
I can see why you would. Let's just put it that way. I can see why you would. But we went up to Palm Beach today to play golf, and I didn't even realise. Obviously, that's home and away territory, isn't it?
What do you mean?
Well, you know what home and away is, don't you?
Oh, Home and Away, the show. Sorry,
Yeah. Like, beautiful. I can see why you just pick up the family and move it here. It's, I mean, it's winter and it's fucking even hotter than Scotland in the hottest of summers. So, but no, not for now, Max. Not for now.
Yeah, I can. Got you.
Who was really sending it in with the out of the Lions boys and stuff? Who was kind of there on full throttle?
I'll tell you who can fucking down a pint. Henry Pollock and a pint of Guinness. Boys, I'm not impressed by many things, but this was sensational. Boys, and you can see people just kept trying to take him on. He can chin a pint of Guinness. Andy Powell was in his element with him. I fucking like that boy, I do. I fucking like him. He's a nice boy, isn't he? Look at him. It's fucking look like just admiring how he can chin a pint of Guinness. I was like, Powell understands the things that are really important.
Yeah, the social values, yeah.
Had Henry Pollock any idea who Powley was?
Yeah, of course he did. Yeah, have you seen that thing of him where they asking him like about players that?
Yeah, about that's what I mean. Yeah, and he couldn't recognise like who's that?
Mate,
I should know him.
Didn't like Jason Robinson or like Jason Leonard and people
That's
like that.
how you know you get old. I was like the boys coming into the club this year, like 2007. I was like this. 2008, one of them. I was like this. I just finished up a sick. Wild.
No, listen, everyone was on it. End of tour. Schmoggy was in good form. He was with his brother in there. So yeah, it was nice. But we'll keep the rest to ourselves, won't we?
No, I want to hear more on the Owen Farrell, mate, because obviously over the years, for our wonderful listeners, they've heard this a million times. For those who are kind of newer to the show, just Google Ryan Wilson, Owen Farrell, and you will see that there was somewhat of a mid-game or pre-game fracas between the two players before a Calcutta Cup match between Scotland and England at Twickenham that got Ryan subsequently banned from HQ Blur. So what was, I know you've had sort of nibbles of a chat with him after an end of season against Saracens a few years ago. But actually talk us through Jackson Ray, the absolute legend, ironing out the years of vitriol between two rugby players. Talk us through how it actually went down.
I think what the final telling was is obviously I played with Duncan Taylor, Sean Maitland, so it's easy with them. They're like, oh, we've played with Wills, so it was an opportunity for someone that hasn't ever played with me to get to know me in Jackson Ray. So I think that's probably why it's then maybe pushed it just over the edge nicely. And I'll be honest, I can't really remember the game, let alone the piss up. I just remember having a chat with him. So, and it was all pretty amicable. So, it always is going to be. He's. Do you know what I mean? One of the boys. I mean, there's only a couple blokes that I know I wouldn't get on with off the field, and we all know who they are. They might be Irish, but yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. Nice bloke.
So it was a fabulous night. Let's just rewind now and go to the third test. Obviously, you spoke to the boys in the warm-up, I remember you calling me and saying, right, I can tell you exactly who's playing on Saturday because I've just spent the whole night with the boys who aren't playing. And I think you had a big one with them in Sydney, just pre-game with the likes sort of Marcus Smith and everyone like that. Now,
yeah, can I just make sure we clarify? I didn't have a big one with them. We saw them in a bar. We were on our own. I don't want to be labelled as a Klingon here.
Oh look, it's full Kit Wilson again.
I was in my own social drinking group, right? I wasn't clinging on.
Yeah. Mate, we were in a bar in Bondi, and Mike McCarthy. I've looked around. I'm like, what the fuck is Mike McCarthy doing? And he's under the table in the Bondi hotel. And I'm going, Mike, you're good. And he was like, let's build a den. Next minute, there's fucking 10 fully grown 40-year-old men underneath the fucking high table in the thing, and everyone's looking at us building a den with fucking coats around us. So trust me, we were on our own. But we bumped into a few times. There were a couple of blokes seeking them out, I think, in the group, but yeah, I certainly wasn't one of them. But yeah, it was interesting because you could tell if you were a journo, all you had to do is go and find out where they were, go down, look at the people there, the likes of Mac Hansen, James Lowe, Duhan van der Merwe, and go, right, I'm going to be able to pick the team now for this weekend. So I don't think it's much of a myth. And the question is, did Farrell get it wrong, Max? Did he overplay some of those players that were maybe a bit tired? There was obviously a few injuries. I think Sione would have probably been in there. Or did the Wallabies get it right? What did we say right at the beginning? What did we say second test? Play who? Play
Big Willy.
Big Willy.
Daniela.
Big Nella. I mean, if Pete Samu, I would have had him in there. Obviously, Valentini was injured in the third test, but my God, he was good in the second one. Start the fucking test with these guys. It would have been a whole different story.
Or Nic White was quite influential as well in that weather with his short kicking game. Absolute season campaign, a very good international scrum half. You're absolutely right. You pick the guys that you just know. Don't overthink it. Just pick the guys you know. Just those sort of athletes, those sort of animals for Test match rugby. In the first test, it was such like a non-event in terms of the collision for the Wallabies. They were just struggling to keep up with the sort of the athleticism and power from the Lions. And then the minute they added in a few guys, man, they have to get rid of that rule.
They have. They've got rid of it. It's done.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So Nella now, it's gone. Nella can go to France and still represent the Wallabies, which is an absolute bonus territory for everything, right? As in, he didn't have that before, and he's made that decision, and now he's like, boom, I can still be.
That also means they can dip their toe back into Japan as well. There's a few forgotten Wallaby monsters lurking still in the great land of the rising sun as well. So. That's very, very interesting.
Isn't it interesting? I wonder how much of an influence that game, like the way that they played, had on that, because it's suddenly very quickly out that was the news. We're going to go with it. I think you look at the way that Taniela Tupou, but Tupou crying before the game, like you could see how much it meant to him. And then there was a lot of chat here in Australia. Why Nic White? Like, why that decision? It's such a strange one to start him. And was Joe Schmidt being too loyal? It's his last ever game for the Wallabies. No, fucking use that. They used it right. They got it absolutely spot on. And like you said, he was fucking brilliant, Nic White. So a nod to our old mate.
Did you see Angus Gardner presenting him with for managing to referee so well throughout his career? But again, in those conditions, that's the sort of scrum half you want, isn't it? Really, where you've got a guy who's just constantly in the ear of the ref, things going on, putting that pressure on when the conditions are sort of against you in a way. But yeah, I mean, Max, give us your take on that. Obviously you have a slightly mixed feelings about everything as being part Australian yourself, but that third test, the Australians absolutely deserved it. Andy Powell really said it. And if anything, it's almost like they've proven that there's a lot more life left in the Wallaby, and that there was a lot of issues around the Lions potentially not the players, but kind of the media and the fans and everything, kind of saying that Australian rugby was why are we here. It's going to be a 3-0. It's going to be easy. And I think you sort of saw that in the way the Wallabies came out, particularly in the second test, but also in the third as well.
No, I think we'd seen them in the autumn internationals. There was definitely signs of life, like there was a renaissance happening. It was just about whether Australia could select sort of the boys they wanted. And now with the sort of new rules changed and around that sort of bureaucracy, they can. And it clearly showed, like, having someone like Will Skelton, who was just irresistible at times. Like, it's so funny because you can see him, he plays exactly the same as he does for La Rochelle at the highest level against the best in Europe. It was just with the ease at which he sort of had in the contact was just wild. And like what he brings sort of around the park in terms of his gamesmanship, like Nic White, like how he sort of gets in and amongst it against the opposition, just sort of sledging, etc., off-ball antics. He's such a valuable athlete. And then we got a glimpse of it with Bob Valentini, who sadly was cuffed in purple for third test, but mate, it's clearly there. There's guys in Japan like Sean McMahon who also could be getting down and back in now with this new rule change. So, it's exciting times, I think, for the Rugby. I think they showed the world what they can do.
I think we'll talk to Tom Wright in a bit, and it'll be interesting to see what he says. But even like the passion and the aggro that those boys brought, that's what they needed. That's what we're missing. That first test, people helping each other. I said it after that first test. It was too nice. It wasn't a test against the Springboks or something against the All Blacks, whereas there's just pure hatred, which is what you want. You want a Lions team that's hated going up against another nation. There wasn't that in the first test, whereas the first half of that game that I do remember, it was warfare. I even thought, Will Scott, he's taking it too far. He's going to get carded. Like, they were just throwing themselves into each other.
Yeah. He's like grabbed Jimmy Ryan's scrum hat. He's pulled that off. He's like thrown his massive hand at like Atoje's throat. He's just been a nuisance, and it just changed the energy, changed the atmosphere, changes the competition.
Right, here's the next question, and I know this is probably on your list of questions, Mark, but that's where I thought they had it. I was like, this is it. They are under control. And then you come out, half-time, lightning strikes. Who does that help? Because I'm thinking it helps the Aussies more because there's some big old boys in there that need a bit of a break.
I agree.
You with me, Max?
I agree with you 100%.
So was there actually lightning?
It was the most projector off in the distance, yeah.
You know, you go into hospitality at half-time and then maybe, have a few beers so you're late out for the... I was like, shit, I've missed so much of the game. I better go out. And I went to walk out. I was like, what the fuck is going on? Where is everyone? And why is there no one in the front 19 rows? Next to it, I found out, lightning's about to strike. So, but yeah, that for me, that's definitely helped the Aussies. And, I don't know, it's weird, isn't it, boys? I read a couple of the comments from last week because I wanted to go and see how much of a disaster last week's episode was. And I looked in there and there's a few people saying, oh, Ryan, why are you being like this? Support your team. I do support the British and Irish Lions, but there's something about the Aussies, there's something about the Wallabies that I was happy for them to win again. It was just like, there's some good blokes in there that, I don't know, I just felt like they need a bit of a pick-me-up. There's not many times that a Lions team go and face a team coming into it that are 8th in the world. Every other time they're coming in and playing top 1 or 2, in the All Blacks, South Africa. The Wallabies needed to do something, and I don't know. I wasn't too upset that they won next game.
We just touched upon it, but from a selection point of view, Max, did Andy Farrell get it wrong?
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't really think so. There's no one there that I'm like, that's glaringly wrong. Like, all of the guys he's got at his disposal are so good. So it's difficult to be like, did Andy Farrell get it wrong? Did he pick on form? I don't think so. That's what I will say. In terms of like the Lions tour, did he pick on form? No, he didn't. He had an idea of who his men were, and he stuck with them. He was faithful to that, and he's won the series. So, and some of those guys in the end did have very strong performances. So yeah, that would be my sort of answer to that. It's just weird. I think You put it right, Ryan. It was like the first time the Lions are playing number 8 in the world. And I think everyone going in was a little bit like that already. So, was there a sort of sense that it was underwhelming in terms of the opposition? Like, there was predicted it would be a wash. It almost sort of was, but Australia fought back as we knew they would. I think it was good. I think obviously game 1 sort of wasn't the best. There was definitely a flatness about it, and it was very sort of. It looked ominous. It looked ominous for the brand in general, and that's when the sort of talk about bringing in France was coming in, and I was like, now it's getting weird. Now it's getting really weird, guys. But yeah, I understand why those sort of conversations are being had. Was this a successful tour? I don't know. You'd have to ask the Lions boys, ask the Wallabies lads as well. I think I can't speak for them, but I believe it was. I think this chat about Wallabies struggling, I think, is just it's sort of accentuated by these rugby bureaucratic rules. And I think with this new rule, I think that will really change the landscape for the Wallabies, and it'll give them a good kick up the arse going forward in terms of success. Yeah, that would be my take on it. 100%.
Mark, you were at the first test, and by all accounts, like Brisbane was awesome. And I think, like, the more I've learned about it, that it is absolutely mental the amount of fans that travel the other side of the earth to go and watch this. Like, I've never seen anything like it. 90 odd thousand at the MCG, the MSG as I was calling it. You were loving that. But for me, that's why it's been a success. A Lions tour doesn't really need the other side of the fans, but it's also had them. Like at the weekend there, in Sydney, there was fucking loads of Wallabies fans cheering like mental, going mad. And I think, do you know what? I think it's been pretty successful. For a team that is 8th in the world, got completely written off. We were talking about it, 8 weeks ago, saying, they're going to go over there. It's going to be a 3-0 whitewash. Actually, second game, like, it could have gone either way. The Wallabies could have won it, and they could have upset it. So I was gutted that it was written off after the second test, and it was a 2-0 going into the last one, but they made that last test incredible. Everything around it, even the fucking lightning. Just so I got an extra half an hour in hospitality. It was almost like the gods were looking down on me.
Oh, yeah, it was all for you, mate. We're all just living in your world, Ryan Wilson.
Solipsism, Ryan. Very good.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it was a successful tour, and I've seen why it is. And you know what? For once, I'm going with the fans. It's because it is like the fans that come out. I still like that World Cup when we were at the World Cup. I still just cannot get over how many people go, like 90,000 trailing down the road. We're cycling line bikes through the crowd, and you're going, look at all these people coming to watch a rugby match. It doesn't hit you till you're finished. And this was a moment for me where I was just like, this is crazy. How many people love this? But there are some serious fucking potholes in those people as well that you really need to avoid. Holy shit. Like, some of the fans. Too much.
Ryan, there was, we mentioned Brisbane and stuff. I think because the weather was good in Brisbane, everyone had their tops off. So you could see how many Lions were in red shirted Lions, which we didn't see in Melbourne. Sorry, Max, go on. What were you going to say?
I was just going to say the crow calling the raven black, but it's all good. It's all good.
No, trust me, Max. I went on a boat to the game, and let's just say I was happy when there was sideways torrential rain.
I hate when you get annoyed as well. It gets me like a little bit like, say something. He's going to say something. I don't like when he says something. He gets then he gets directly aggressive.
Yeah, very true, very true. Oh, mate, we had a lot of fans from the podcast coming up to us, myself and Mark, asking, is Max as weird as he actually seems? I'm not yet.
A lot of people asking that. What's Max really like?
Yeah,
what's he really like? Does he actually talk like that? I'm like, yep.
Yeah, same with all the boys, same with all the fellas that I was on the British Legends. I don't even know, still don't know what we were called. The British Legends.
Lions Legends, mate. Classic Wallabies Lions Legends.
That's it. So, yeah, it was interesting. Fucking hell, how good.
Ryan, we're talking about that. Let's just quickly wrap up that, because it was watched. That second test was your second test.
Hey, you look good, bro, in the open. You can move still.
Mate, really? Like that was a second row next to me that was like, literally nearly running past me.
No, but I'm just looking at the quality of your gait mechanics. You're looking smooth, big smooth.
Yeah,
thanks.
good rating.
Really
Well.
run for it. Yeah. You were just strolling that puppy in.
Oh, but I'll tell you what though, I was thinking it's really wet. I'm gonna swan dive from 5 out for a laugh. As I've dived, I thought, oh fuck, what if I don't slide? And I scorpion over like. But so it like instead I've like thought, oh shit, I'm not going to slide. Tuck the ball, completely winded myself. Like took all the life and soul out of me.
Who's come over the top of you?
Alex Cuthbert. Cathy is on my back.
Who's riding you? Yeah, that's Cuthbert.
Yeah, that's Cuthbert. And slapping my ass, and I'm just going. It sounded like a squealing pig. I was like, I can't breathe. But yeah, I was in a bad way. After that. But boys, I tell you what, it's whatever. It's up here. It's just you think there is no chance. I mean, when I've had to have 3 beers before the game, I mean, I got in at I think 4:30 the morning before the game, so I was written off. But when you get out there and there's one person takes it a little bit too far, I just wanted to fucking hurt people again. It's weird,
guys were accused of that. You were accused of bringing too much intensity in the first half, and then the Australians were like, well, fuck me, we better put this on.
Is that what was said? Yeah. Where did you get this tasty bit of gossip from?
It was literally, I'm pretty sure, I'm just going to, because it's all in a bit of a haze as well, but I'm pretty sure it was Stephen Larkham, maybe, or I'm sure, let's just spread the poo around. But someone in an interview was saying, oh yeah, they brought too much intensity, so we thought it was a friendly, and then now, so they've kind of gone back in the second half.
That's
and well, actually, Ryan. More importantly, obviously, Rory Lawson put the try with the help of Cuth on a plate for you for your try. What was your return gift or favour to the former Scotland player?
Yeah, I might have given him a little bit of a. Hospital pass. I think it was like an offload almost, which put his hands above his head. Next minute, Henry Spate, who, by the way, can still bang. Bang hard and consistent. Fucking upends him, puts him on his back. He is squealing like a pig. And I don't know, he's torn something. You know, when your back hits the floor so hard, you tear something in like the back of their max, like something's come off the shoulder by the sounds of it, because he's literally just compressed everything of him. Next morning, Rory Lawson's come down with a tuba grip tied around his neck because Powell's lost a fucking sling that he was given. Powell's torn his trap off the fucking bone or something. Mike Ross tore his Achilles off the bone. It was just fucking like mental. But Tangeli Navarro still playing. Henry Spate still running around playing club footy and at a fucking good level. Joe Tamane, did you see the size of him? Oh, like fucking Lee Harper was getting put, like just getting dished up left, right, and rhubarb. I felt so sorry for some of the backs.
Joe Tamane is in the Wallaby lock. Massive.
No. Joe Tamane, the one that plays for Leinster in the centres.
Oh wow, yeah, that'll be a problem.
Curtis Royner, like these boys were just, absolutely banging. So as much as they moaned that, we got Finn Russell's brother. And we had James Smith, the influencer.
How did he go?
He went pretty well, to be fair. But like people like that, he's obviously got a massive following on Instagram and YouTube.
Oh yeah, but they're like trying to weigh it up, and they're like, yeah, it's the same, right? No, Big T. Talking about Big T right now.
And you could tell when he was sat in the changing room, he was like, "What the fuck have I agreed to?" Like you were just looking around, but he loved it. He was like, he was like, "I'm actually like, I'm so happy I'm here." Whereas I looked over at Lee Halfpenny, who's still trying to get a contract at the moment, and he just looked. I'd put that thing up. Hello, darkness, my old friend. He was just like thinking, "What have I done, mate?" Shane Williams turns up, stepping people in phone boxes.
It's still got it.
Still got it. The man's running Ironmans, So
yes.
boys, it was really special, and it fucking, as much as I again dreaded it, didn't train from it. Part of me is like, maybe I start training for the next one. Already a few boys are asking if I'm going to do some more. So, do you know what? If I get fit, if I get ready and raring to go, I could, mate. That I was asking this question. What level do you think that was at? Yeah, there was a lot of stop starts because of the knock-ons, but I reckon that was what's the league below Pro D2? Fed 1.
Yeah, that's got to be Nat. That's got to be Nat 2, surely.
I think from the forwards' perspective, boys, wasn't it?
It's
I mean,
gotta
like,
be like-
it's the backs that's a bit slower, but the forwards, it still looks like seriously not fun to be involved. I know some guys somehow like that stuff, but it looked very, very kind of.
Well, it wasn't, Dave Ewers is literally just retired from playing in the URC for the Stormers. And it wasn't like he was the big standout, He was like fucking smashing up. Boys were hitting him hard. The rolling subs have a help as well, I suppose. But like the back row, Guy Thompson, me, Dave Ewers, Jackson Ray, like you're looking at it going, do you remember Ollie Atkinson? Do you remember that name, Max? Big second row.
Yes, I do. Yes.
He played. So like, yeah. Baz Barrington, what a man.
Yeah.
Very, very, very funny bloke.
Amazing, isn't he? Quite amusing.
So I've made some good mates and some good old memories, and also some memories that I'll never fucking remember because I don't know what happened. But yeah, it's been special, boys. It's been special. Here's the 2 more weeks and stand off the piss a little bit longer.
Just quick one.
Johnny Barrett took me under his wing when I was put on loan to Roslyn Park from London Irish.
What a boy
he did. He did mention it. What a bloke. What a man. Paul Doran Jones,
the geezer,
another very good man.
Hey, turn. Ebenezer, Bacardi Freezer. I'm a geezer.
Lemon squeezer. Yeah. Good man.
He's a good egg though. He's so funny. He's got some great stories. So who was your player of said tour, Ryan?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. I don't even know if we did one. I mean, if you were, are we talking about the legends or the actual?
No, legends. But we'll do lines up.
I'd say MVP up there was Jackson Ray. He sent it the most. I'm talking off-field performance.
Even on-field, to be fair, mate, he was kind of everywhere.
Yeah, he was pretty good. I'll tell you what, Craig Gilroy's still got it on the pitch. He's still got it on the pitch, but he was genuinely looking forward to it a lot. And him and Tommy Seymour took it pretty easy in the weeks. Tommy Seymour left on the Thursday before the game, and then we saw the real Craig Gilroy. And all the messages in the group were, Tommy was holding you back, mate. Let's just say, once Tommy was gone, he sent it. I don't know whether he was taking the rugby seriously or whether it was Tommy holding him back, but it was, he was probably, do you know what? He's up there, is still having it, I think.
Ryan. Lions player of the tour. I've got a short list of the great Tyburn, who proved to us all that he can still do it, blue hat and all, at 6. What a dog. We then got Tom Cuzzer. He was spicy. He was a vindaloo of deep, darky, tones. And then we've got, in the back, I'm going to go with Finn the Muscle. Finn the Muscle Russell. In fact, I actually thought Hugo Keenan was very good as well.
Yeah. Hugo Keenan's up there. Oh, yeah, I'm with you on that one. Oh, do you know what? I'd also throw Hugh Jones into the mix.
Yeah, Shucky did do
for
bit.
Someone that, Ringrose was meant to start the second test and he came in last minute and then started the third test, played all 3 of them. He's up there, but I mean the pundits picked him. I think even the player picked him, and he again I've heard that he was like the life and soul of the tour, which I don't know him personally, Tyburn, but he was pretty handy, wasn't he?
Fair play. So we all agree.
And then
Tyburn.
And then for your Wallabies player of the tour, I'm going to go with, I think there's only one right decision. He didn't play in the first test, but he made his presence known in 2 and 3. The great big Will Skelton.
Got to be.
It's got to be.
I'm going Will Skelton, but I'm also saying Tom Wright. Plays every minute. I don't think
Tom Wright
fucking missed a minute for the Wallabies.
Finished that unbelievable try from the line break off Su'Ali. He was also, Tom Wright was very, very good.
He's the only player to start every test, of 2025.
Well, I hope you got your stats, because on that note, we're going to have a chat with him, aren't we?
So we are here with the main man himself, one of the stars of the Alliance versus Australia series just gone by, in the form of Wallaby fullback Tom Wright. Righty, great to have you back on the show, mate.
I thought that was Wilso's intro for a minute there. Mate, appreciate you having me on, fellas. Whenever Wilso texts, I feel like I have to oblige. So he's still smirking by the look of him.
No, I'm smirking because we filmed the beginning of this show earlier on down in Newport in a cafe, and I told the boys that was it. I'm on my detox. I've done 16 days on the piss straight, and I am never touching it again for at least another week. And straight after that, Mark, I've got to admit, I went straight to the pub.
On the beers like an idiot. Literally, we've been rushing around trying to get Tom on, and you're just getting pissed,
hold on.
mate.
We've been waiting for you. I don't know where you are. You're in a car park somewhere. We were waiting for you.
You're looking very suspicious, mate, in a car with a microphone, and I don't know.
This is I'm at the epicenter of dogging in the UK. It's absolutely fabulous. I'm just sort of flashing my lights every 2 minutes, trying to see what comes up, because you never know what's going to happen. Yeah, where are you, Righty, now?
Mate, I'm back in Canberra. We've got the best. Oh my man, I like to see it. Even you're wearing it proudly, even though they're not doing too well at the moment. Poor buggers, but
I'm wearing it proudly. The Manly Sea Eagles, Mark. You won't have any idea about this, but I'm now a proud owner of a Manly Sea Eagles. This is your team,
more
wasn't
than 5 minutes. Yes, it was. Very proud. Yeah, how long did you spend on the beaches? Did you say you were there for a little bit, huh?
Oh, I've been down the beach.
You're in Newport.
I'm in Newport. Yeah, beautiful spot.
Okay, it is. Yeah, it's terrible. You should never stay there again. Yeah, no, but we're back in Canberra, mate. We've got 4 of the best 5 days between Lions Test 3 and heading over to Africa. So, yeah, good to spend it with the girls and just sort of detox away from footy for a bit after obviously a big sort of month, which has been pretty hectic.
Yeah, no rest for the
just
wicked,
your warm up then for the Lions are just your warm up for the big coming games then, is it?
Yeah, something like that. I think it'll be pretty well matched atmosphere wise when we get over to Joburg and Cape Town. So, mate, the atmosphere, that was probably the biggest month of footy and going forward will ever come up. City to city was next level. Sort of security at the hotel, sort of trying to keep us. Not that, mate, it wasn't like we weren't like the Los Angeles Lakers, but it was like that sort of atmosphere of like they sort of had someone there just to keep the pommy pissheads maybe away from us.
Yeah, people like Mark. That is the problem. That is the serious problem. Right, if you were to pick one though, which was your favourite test? Like, I'm guessing. I think I know the answer, but I was at the MCG, mate. The atmosphere there was. I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah, that was next level. That'll go down in the books for me, mate. Running up. They actually made it like a real. Like almost like a movie because we walked up the tunnel. Like they made a real point of it that we weren't to jog out. You know, you get to that awkward stage where you're walking and then you're like, all right, let's start running because it's really weird that we're walking for this far. So that whole climax of 90,000 people, stadium went black, everyone got their phone torches out. And then the game itself obviously we were out in front and then obviously got run down. But like, yeah, next level. And the week prior, I thought Suncorp was the best run out I'd ever been a part of, and then obviously got eclipsed again. And then we played in that monsoon last week, so that was a little bit hard, to compare to the first 2 tests in terms of atmosphere because we still had 85,000 or whatever turn up, but in different circumstances. Poor buggers.
Mate, Tommy, from your personal perspective, and we were there. Ryan and I were sat right in the row in front of the Wallaby, the guys who weren't in the 23 for the Wallabies and the Lions. We're in the row in front. So we could see you when you get the ball for your try and you're running and there's 90,000 people. Wait, what are you hearing? That must have been a slightly different sort of level for you.
Yeah, a little bit. It's someone asked me this actually yesterday or the day before, like, 90,000 must have been so loud, but then I was about to say, I know Wilso sort of knows the feeling, but I know he didn't run too many tries in from sort of 30
mate,
or
did
more.
Did you see me at the North Sydney Oval this week, mate? Thursday.
I was running about you at North Sydney Oval, yes.
Hey, bring it up, Brian. Let Tom.
But mate, it goes like almost quiet, like because there's so much noise. But yeah, I sort of just was watching Sue dance and break, and then I was like, oh, hang on, I'm a chance. Obviously, I knew they had one in the bin, yellow card, so I, we knew the run option it was on. So it wasn't like it was too unexpected that we were, looking to sort of push the footy. But yeah, next level, and more like probably in my carry on after I scored. Like just trying to embrace that atmosphere was like, just got the better of me and let it all out, which was pretty cool.
Oh mate, how gut wrenching was it? Like, because I genuinely, I've admitted on here. I spoke to these boys after the game, literally straight after the game. Mark won't remember it. He was so drunk. We did the podcast straight after the game, and he didn't know what was happening. But I admitted I was sat in front of the Lions boys. My old mate Sione Tuaplot, who sat behind me, but I had the boys like Nella and Rabs on my left-hand side. Man, I'm cheering for the Wallabies, second test. I'm wanting the showdown in Sydney. So I'm going hell for leather. And I was getting some funny old looks.
Yeah, it was embarrassing. Tommy, it's embarrassing in front of everybody. He's genuinely cheering like a madman for you. When you go up, when you're going through...
When you rock the Manly hat, you have to.
Exactly, but talk me through it. Like, was there a bit of you that? Yeah, it was pretty tough to take because I thought you boys had that one on right at the death. Just get stolen, eh?
Oh yeah, undoubtedly. In particular, obviously got out early. Maybe we just put the gun in the holster a little bit in hindsight. Obviously, haven't dug too deep into like a full series review in terms of the style of footy that we did or didn't play in particular stages of games, but. We sort of threw punches early, and then sort of maybe we stepped away a little bit, and obviously that you need to give them half of a lick, and the Lions taking their opportunities, right? World class set piece. So like you let them sort of come into your half and dictate terms, you're going to have a sort of a tough afternoon. And we saw that in the second half of the MCG. But yeah, like I reckon party that might have been cheering was because you wanted that sort of showdown in Sydney, right? Like a lot of people that I've spoken to, and like you got to win 2 games, right? So they were good enough to win the first 2, and I know they were trying to close out a last game as badly as we were trying to close out or stop, that 3-0 whitewash. So it still made for a good spectacle last week in Sydney, but like for the majority of people, that sort of that taste of like a decider would have been unreal. But you win 2 games. That's all it takes sometimes, isn't it?
What was the feeling like in the third one? It felt different. Like you saw Nella in the warm up with the tears streaming down. You got big Willy Skelton like frothing at the bit, and you could see he was on another level. What was the feeling like in that one? Because it seemed like you boys were revved up for that third test, ready to go.
Yeah, absolutely. In our backyard for a lot of, each city has their own terms of what a backyard means for a lot of people. The boys in Brizzy, obviously their first test was in their backyard, but for a large majority of the group, Sydney's is home. And as you would know, home usually means a lot of tickets. So people are asking you for a shit ton of tickets, which is always great. You don't know who to say yes or no to. But mate, like we didn't need added motivation to win a game. Like we knew the Lions had been coming for 12 years. So like it's not like we needed motivation for the first game or the second game, but that maybe there was a little bit more for that third game in terms of pride for the jersey, pride for ourselves, being so close in games 1 and 2, really. Like obviously a fair bit closer in game 2, in particularly leading. But yeah, maybe just like as you said, you mentioned like Nella, the tears streaming down his face, like very genuine emotion, guys. He was obviously the first time he's got to wear the jersey this year as well, and you've known Willy for a long time. Like he just loves playing, whether he's playing for La Rochelle or he's playing for the Wallabies. Like I think we saw him really dial in, impose himself pretty physically. There was heaps of niggle, obviously, and he was right in the epicenter of it. So I don't know who was game enough to be taking him on in 12 rounds, though, to be fair. He's in a category of his own.
Wait, I mean, you say there was a little bit, I mean, to be fair, Righty, you were, maybe the cameras lie a little bit, but you seem to be in the mix in a couple of them as well yourself. Obviously, it's a lot easier when you look back and you've got Big Willy Style behind you in much of it. He's been described by Max on our show as an aura farmer. Is that how you guys feel within like the Wallaby camp?
Yeah, I'll say whatever it was. He's like, if he was a farmer, he'd be a fucking big one. But the thing with Willy is like, he's actually like the nicest, most gentle guy. Like he's hanging with the older staff through to the newest staff, the oldest players through to the youngest, polys, non-poly guys. Like he couldn't be like less of that sort of aggressive style that we see on the field. And then he gets in there and he just like bites down the mouth guard and it's go time. Aura farming, like it makes me feel a little bit old if Jorgo's saying that, but I don't know like what his proper definition of aura farmer is. But that's just
somebody
how he
who
plays.
just he creates aura just by being himself. And you know, we had Jackson
fair.
Ray on, who's obviously played with Will for years, saying, look, he's just a horrible, lovely guy, horrible rugby player to deal with, even in training and especially on the field, and you know, grabbing Marrow's throat and all of that. You're like, this guy, he was there to play.
He absolutely comes to play. I think a lot of people probably don't understand like how much he gives up to come home and play. Like it, not that, you know, you play the game for the money by any means, but like it literally costs him money to come home and play for the gold jersey. Like that's how much it really means to him. And then you go back and you cast him on across highlights of the first two games. It's not him scoring, but like he's had a large part to do with us scoring points or taking opportunities just by doing what he's like brought to every team he's been a part of. Just be big, and I use the term useless, like, but he's like uselessly big at like laying on people to stop them getting up quickly or like adding weight, and because he's obviously got a fair bit of it, at times too much, but works in his favour most of the time.
And just a word on Nic White. Obviously, we saw him potentially back. Mate, I've heard some things. I've heard a few things in the pipeline the last few days about maybe he's going to be involved in the Rugby Championship. I won't let you get into that because you'll know more than us. But, mate, what about him? Because, again, a lot of the chat in the week building up to it is like, really, Nic White, is that Joe Schmidt being too loyal to him? You know, his last game for the Wallabies. But, mate, he did what he's always done. Steered you boys around the ship. But he was fucking class, wasn't he?
He oozes class, doesn't he? And, like, you talk about, like, similar to Willy, like, guys that, like, die for the jersey, you know, wear it literally on their sleeve. He deserved his opportunity. It wasn't like just this like swan song, let's just put Whitey in just to sail him off into it. Like, no, he's like was the man for the job in Sydney, and like he literally stood up to the plate and steered us as far as he possibly could until his little bow legs gave out before the game. You know, he spoke about like he'd do anything for the jersey, and then we came in for that lightning delay, and he was like had his eye like half hanging on because he'd been split early, and like they were trying to head tape like the egg that was starting to peel over his vision, so they were trying to peel that up and like it was just Whitey. That's just what Whitey does. Like he leaves it all out there, and that's potentially why he's had to hang him up the way he has. You know, like he's kept just knocking on the door with his body, and his body's finally knocked back and just went like, "Hey, that's it." No. But you don't know. I don't know. Maybe
you never know. You never know. Talk to me about a chat of Farrell and Su'Ali, because I saw you chat with Farrell as you go down the tunnel, and there's a few people saying, what were they talking about? Tell me, Joseph Su'Ali and Farrell, what was going on there? They were going at each other. Do you know what he said? Because I'm pretty sure I heard, I could lip read Farrell saying, you've won nothing. But what were you chatting to Farrell about on the way in? Just about the Lightning?
That was the Lightning, yeah. Me and him were walking in at the same point. We were thinking, like, fuck, you're kidding. Like, what are the chances of this happening? You know, like, especially in a Lions game. That was literally me and his chat on the way in. And I was tongue-tied doing something else at the point where they were mouthing off at each other. So I don't know what was said there. But I know, watching Farrell for long enough, that he plays right on the edge physically, emotionally. So, like, I can imagine he would have been barking whatever he was barking about. And I know the way that I've obviously played with Sue now for the best part of a year or whatever it is. So I know that he plays the exact same way. He plays.
He seems to rub people up the wrong way, though, doesn't he? He seems to rub people up the wrong way, old Sue.
Well, I think it's just the nature of how intense the game already was. There was heaps of niggle in it already. So, like, you're a bit rubbed up the wrong way, and it's just the first bloke that barks at you. Sometimes you just want to bark back. So I don't know that if there was a whole lot in it. But, like, Sue, he plays hard. Like, you've seen him physically, like, leave everything into a tackle, come off, like last year at Scotland, right? Like, empties someone out in a tackle, but, like, does himself a disservice because he hurts himself, you know? So he just plays that way, to be fair. And then he does all the brilliant stuff as well. So it's like, God, you get the best of both worlds.
I think it's you leagueies. You're not tapped right. I've been watching this 360 show. Every fucking night I turn the TV on, there's this NRL 360 on. How it's fucking mental. They love it. They love it. Do you watch it?
Every single night. Oh, like in dribs and drabs. Like, it's literally the only thing on these days, like in Oz. Like, I don't know what it's called over there, like Sky Sport or whatever it is in the UK. But, like, that'd be like Fox League here is like the equivalent of that. So it's just 6:30 every night. You can tune into that and bank on it. But they just talk like the day's worth of news, you know, or like the week's worth of news every single night. It can be like pretty good listening. Background noise though.
Tommy, just a couple more before we let you go. Over the 3 games in the series, who's the Ryan Wilson of the Lions that you love to hate?
God, I heard the classic Lion side was good, to be fair, in terms of the niggle. I don't know if I could just give you 3. Like, there was heaps of chat out there and that's just the competitive nature it was, honestly. Gibson Park and Finn Russell, they were throwing good chat, like nothing like spicy, but just like good, like in terms of the way the game was going. Tom Curry, like he rides the emotion of the game too. Like he was pretty diced up from memory in the Brisbane test pretty early at one stage. I don't know, I wouldn't even shy away from saying, but there was nothing like crazy getting thrown around out there. It was just heaps of that like pussy off the ball, push and shove shit. Like, no, mate, when was the last time you saw a full blown brawl these days?
That's what we need to get it back there.
Well, everyone just comes in and grabs collars until like the refs like. And then everyone like turns around and they're like, "All right, no more warnings." Like, that's it.
But this is what I said to the boys is like the first test seemed so nicey. It almost made me a little bit sick. Whereas the third test, the first half of the third test, I was genuinely like, "Fuck, here we go!" Like this is where it could turn into a brawl. This could be a 30-man brawl, and that was like the intensity you wanted. Did you feel they were almost a bit nice in the first test? I think it might be because they got the better of you boys, so it was almost like a bit like, we've won. But there was something different about that game in Sydney on the weekend.
Yeah, Sydney was brutal, like physical, real, like tight 5. Maybe it's always one loose forward that sort of doesn't get right in the mix of like the rest of the piggies. I don't know if anyone knows one of those sort of guys, but there's 7 forwards from each side going right at it, and then a couple of backs chip in here and there, and there's like a 6 or an 8 maybe floating on the far edge somewhere doing something. But I reckon we didn't see the best of both sides in Test 1. So I reckon it was maybe a bit of a feeling out. Like both teams probably come off. Like we were like, mate, we could have been so much better. And I guarantee that they were saying the same thing. They left a number of opportunities out there at the same time. So yeah, I don't know. Like maybe the leashes come off in Test 2 and 3, and we saw a little bit more footy and a little bit more passion come out. Maybe. Don't know. I didn't think about it like that. To be fair.
Tommy, on that, just on the one, because ultimately, and you would know this as much as anybody, across the 3 tests, it was a 1-point game. That's kind of when you aggregate it out, which is either harsh to hear, but it's a missed opportunity perhaps, or as well shows how far you guys have come in terms of matches under a new coach. You're relatively young, I suppose. That if it hinges on one of the big decisions, that the Carlo Tizzano clear out. For you on the pitch, how did it feel? Like genuinely, were you, what did you guys think?
Oh mate, yeah, I heard something years ago. Like if you leave it up to if you leave a decision in the hands of the officials, you've probably done something or a number of things wrong in the lead up. You kind of got the game of rugby gives you so many opportunities to. And that's the PC answer. Obviously, I'd love to get on and shit can someone and do something, but that's the reality of it, right? If you leave it, but there's so many cleanouts like that. Was it on his neck? Yeah, but is that the game? Yeah, probably. There's so many ways to look at it. But as I said, as alluded to before, we were leading, and then we sort of probably didn't throw enough punches, and then you get run down, and you give the best of 4 nations an opportunity. Shit, yeah, they're going to take it, and and make you suffer for it. Really, that was the way it went. And if you were to write a book, that'd be the way that you probably finish the book, right? This big suspenseful ending, and a minute or two with this big what's it going to be, and fall in the favour of heads or tails. It depends on what side of the coin you're on, but it sucked, right? It would have been cool to see it go out in a different fashion, but it didn't. So the Lions won, and that was it. And we had to go to Sydney and sort of get ourselves up for it after that. But Carlo copped a bit of heat for it, but that's not really probably a reflection of him. He plays hard. I don't know how many games you watch of him play super. He just plays hard, and he's on to the next thing. And I don't know that he was too much into the theatrics of trying to be a paid actor. To be fair, he got shit canned pretty hard, but maybe a little bit unfair of him.
Did you boys send it after the win? Was there a good few celebrations? Obviously celebrating a big win, not so much the series, but maybe Nic White. didn't see you in Paragon. I was lost.
Mate, we got out of the shed so late. Hey, like Whitey had his immediate Mel and the boys, and then his parents and his sister and their kids. Like he had a good little crew come in, and we made sure that we made Whitey's last game, as you alluded to earlier, made that really special in the sheds. But like it was more celebration, not the right word. It was maybe just a rounding out of like, because we hadn't had any beers all series, like even since the Fiji game. Just because we knew the enormity of what was coming. So like it was more guys get back to the hotel at like 12:30 or whatever. It might have been 12:45 even, and all the families were still there having some food, and there was a couple of wines and a few beers on the tables and stuff. But mate, by no means was it celebrations or like a big night. Because we got as I mentioned at the start, we got 4 or 5 days before we go to Joburg. So like,
yeah,
like
back to the families.
Yeah,
back to the families.
Like, yeah, so that's like. Boys were pretty keen to get home. I stayed in Sydney an extra night with the girls and the dogs, and then we come home the next day for our awards night. So it was like pretty tame. I think times have changed, to be fair too. I know it's like Wilson's just like end of the game, let's go.
Yeah,
not like that anymore.
Not in the classics, not in the whatever we were called the classics and versus
the main game, the main
event.
But, final word on right now, Righty, the positivity in the Wallabies camp after that, a big victory, and ultimately a test that was a series rather that was so close, and a seeming cohesion now within what you guys are doing, and as Andy Farrell put it, a hell of a team that you've got now. Yeah,
that was nice to hear, right? Like he didn't have to say anything good about us or bad about us. Like their team just won, so that was nice for him to make mention of us. But mate, we're flat out disappointed. Like it was no surprise how good the Lions were going to be and how good we needed to be to win. But like, yeah, plenty of good stuff for us to take out. We saw guys take opportunities, stand up, make a name for themselves. Saw plenty of like cohesion stuff sort of come together a little bit under Joe. So yeah, there's plenty to take out of it in like dribs and drabs, but the big picture, obviously, we stumbled on. But yeah, plenty to look forward to. Like what was cool was being part of the experience and seeing, however many, say there was a couple 100,000 came across the 3 games or whatever it was. And that amount of support was next level. I don't know if I'll ever see that again as a player. So that was pretty cool. And yeah, like whenever I end up retiring, I reckon I'll reflect on that. Like just Brisbane, Melbourne, Sydney, and just seeing this wave of red and like, matched with waves of gold support through the major cities. And obviously you mentioned 360 being on all the time. Like that obviously dominates the market at the moment, probably here, but like internationally or globally speaking, the footy was like the main thing in each of the cities we were in, which was fucking pretty cool, to be fair.
Wait, did you swap a jersey?
I did. I had to swallow my pride. I didn't want to because I obviously have to go in to see Hugo in their sheds. But I'd said to myself before the series, if you get the opportunity to do it, you got to do it. And I've swapped jerseys with him in the centenary, or the 150 years of Irish rugby last year, whatever it was. They had that sick all green jersey strip. So I'd had some, like a little bit of, convo with Hugo, and he's like, he doesn't chat shit or anything out there. So he was all for it. Had a good 5 or so minute yarn with him. So yeah, pretty glad I did. A lot of the boys wanted to do so, but it's hard after like you lose and you definitely don't want to do it. And then you win the last game, which, they don't really want, they're not all that keen, they just want to start their celebrations of the series. But a few of us, sucked it up and went in and that's what I saw a few of the classic boys were even doing it, like it's part of the game. It's pretty cool.
But should I tell you what? I swapped shirts with Cooper Vuna. I reckon I could fit 6 of me in that shirt.
Oh boy.
Whole Cooper Vuna ate 3 Cooper Vunas.
I tell you who was taking names out there? Henry Spate. What was he doing?
I was like, Brus, he was absolutely
he could still go.
Easy. Tangilina Ivoro,
I played with Silky down here at the Brahmans my first year, and he was a machine. And then he left, and I saw him in Brisbane the other week. Oh, in prep for the first test. And I was like, are you still playing or what? Like, you look unreal. Yeah, no, not me.
Yeah, no, he told me the night before, we had beers the night before. Did you hear? We picked the boys up on the bus as well, which was hilarious.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah, I saw the photo. I saw Gitz's photo, yeah.
And I'm just like, what is going on? But they're like, no, gentleman's agreement. Next minute, the fucking Fijian
He's
destroyer is
laying
out
blokes
there.
out.
Yeah, absolutely murdering boys. Tangeli Noivoro nearly ended Lee Halfpenny's career. Oh, fucking hell. It was
Surely
pretty
not
special.
Lee, the nicest guy in world rugby, isn't he?
I know, exactly. And he just got up and smiled. So, yeah, that's the boys are out of order, but it was a good test match.
Yeah, nice. That's what the game's about.
That's it. Right, you've been unbelievable, mate. We appreciate your time so much, honestly, jumping on here straight after this. And I know you've been at the zoo with the family all day, so it'll be fucking tough.
Mate, I actually told a lie. Oh, a lie in hindsight. We didn't go to the zoo. She had her vaccination, so that was a full 360.
There we go.
But it was at the same time. So
this is what I do.
Which is a family man. This is what I do.
A great guy, friend of the show, and we'll be rooting for you, Righty, in the Rugby Championship, of course, and then hopefully you'll be out in autumn. Yeah, in autumn. Were you going to be over in Europe?
We do. We've got a pretty busy one. Actually, we go to Japan and then 4 weeks in the UK. No, that's a lie. Japan, London, Italy, somewhere then France. Might be Scotland. Might be Murrayfield. I can't remember. Someone, and then we finish in France.
All right. Well, I'm sure we'll bump into it at some point.
We'll catch up with you back when you're on this side of the planet. I'm talking to you, Ryan,
Sounds
as well,
good.
because you're technically there. But thank you so much for your time, Righty, and we will speak to you very soon, mate. Thank you.
Sounds awesome. Thanks, fellas. Appreciate it. See you, Wolves. See you, lads.
Legend, brother. Take it easy.
Good day, folks. Here at Maul or Nothing, we'd like to thank the people that have sponsored us from day one. Yes, the wonderful people at Wolf Craig Distillery. They've sponsored us through our inane ramblings, good times, epic pilgrimages of the piss, celebrating this great game, the game of egg chasing. Go to wolfcraig.com. That was weird. And pick yourself up a little something with the link. Ta-ta for now. See you next time. Fair dinkum. What does your rumour mill tell you about the Rugby 360 League? NBAs
well, other than myself and Lewis Rees-Zammit being touted for the next ones to go down to Newcastle, I have heard that he's been out here looking for NRL players. He's looking for AFL players. He's on the hunt, is Mike Tyndall. Yes, he played in our first game, but I didn't actually have a proper chat with him. But our 360 could be about to upset a lot of the rugby world.
Who are we talking about? We're talking about Reece Walsh, Ken Ponga. That's we got.
Joseph Su'Ali.
Joseph Su'Ali as well. Okay, got you. All right.
Take all of those. And then Newcastle just quickly getting wings from Red Bull. It looks like that one's being tied up in the next few days. That should, Max, revolutionise the landscape of Prem Rugby, do we think?
It'll be interesting. I think they've signed pretty well, actually, at the moment. Like some really solid players that are like straight up Prem vets who've been there, done it for ages. I think they're signing really cannily. So it'll be interesting to see where they go next with their big statement signings, especially being now they're branded as the Newcastle Red Bulls. I wonder what their logo will look like. Is it going to be like a falcon werebull with wings? No, it can't be.
Or just a falcon with like a can of Red Bull in between.
A bull griffin.
Just drinking a...
or just a falcon, just like with a little dart, just drinking things of Red Bull.
Will, now that you've got the taste bug back, would you play if Newcastle come calling?
Of course I would. I'm fit, I'm ready to roll. Any clubs out there that need a pretty handy back rower or a really slow second rower, I could put the weight back on. I know I can. I've put it on already over the last 2 weeks.
You look good.
Try scoring line-out operator. Sorry, Max.
He does look a little... he does look a little... But it's okay. It's fine. You'll be fine in a minute.
Easy. Piss.
Boys, fabulous. Look, a huge thank you to Ryan and Max and to Tom Wright, of course, for coming on the show. And to all of you for listening and watching. That is the end of season 2 of Maul or Nothing. Season 3 promises even more. I mean, Max is already back underway with his pre-season. Ryan will finally come back from down under. But we are going to take a quick break for roughly about 4 weeks. And this is classically me informing Ryan and Max at the same time before the new season and all that comes with it. We've got the Prem, we've got the URC, we've got the Autumn Internationals coming up before, again, back into the round, the Six Nations, Champions Cup, all of that stuff coming up. Or what promises to be a huge season 3. So stay with us, keep everything, the notifications on, follow, like, subscribe, and comment. And we love you all, and we will see you all in September.
Oh, fair dinkum, boys. Really good season. Had a great time with you, gentlemen.
It's been real, boys. It's been real. And who knows? Comment below who you think, but we might have another full-time guest on next season. So let us know who you think it could be.
More or nothing.